Welcome to the French Drayman channel. I'm your host, Robert Sherwood. We have a really good one for you. We're going to show you how to dig underneath a swimming pool. We're going to show you how to dig deep underneath a swimming pool to get the groundwater that's causing problems to the structure of a swimming pool. This swimming pool has a liner, and the water keeps getting trapped up underneath the liner. Liners are very expensive, so it's only a matter of time before it splits. They had to stick this broom down the side of the liner and put a hose down there on a pump to suck the water out. And this has been going on for months, if not years. A lot of times when homeowners have these problems, they can't find a qualified contractor to take care of them. It took a while for this gentleman to hear about us and what we do. And once we connected, we gave him the reassurance that we've done so many of these, we've done hundreds of these, and that this was just another day at the office for us. So we're going to take you guys along for the ride. This is going to be a deep dig. I first really want to emphasize that if you know nothing about swimming pools, that this is really not something you should be doing. The crew that's digging, the crew that's doing this work, they've installed swimming pools. They know every part to a swimming pool, an in-ground swimming pool, whether it's the plumbing, the utilities, the electrical, and the gas for the heater. They know what to look for. They know how it's ran. They have a clear understanding of the anatomy of a pool. First thing that you have to recognize is you have to dig deeper than the deepest portion of this pool. Wherever the pool happens to be the deepest, that's where you want to dig, and you want to go 18 inches below the pool bottom. By the time you put in a pump system and you set a pump down there with a float, a lot of the floats on these pumps, they need 10 inches, maybe more, just to rise up and to activate. Well, we don't want it to rise up and put water underneath this liner. So we want it to turn on way before it reaches the pool bottom. You don't want to undermine the concrete that's around the swimming pool. If it's brick pavers or concrete, you want to be off the wall of the pool. That's my recommendation. And you don't want to undermine that dirt that's underneath that concrete that you see the men working near and the one gentleman standing on. You want to go straight down, and then you're going to have to go horizontally underneath the pool. You have to be very comfortable with this. You have to have a clear understanding of the pool bottom, how it's constructed, what it is made of, so that you don't do thousands of dollars in damage. You're down here to fix a problem, not to create more. If you're not comfortable with doing this, I recommend that you wait until you find somebody who's qualified and has a clear understanding to how these underground swimming pools are built and what to watch and stay away from. Well, all this digging is pretty boring, so let's take you right to the horizontal shaft where we broke the groundwater and drained all that water out from underneath the pool.
All working now. Wow.
You see the line over there?
Yep.
In the top.
Yep, I see it.
And down is concrete all the way, the little stuff concrete put it in. And why I don't gonna hit it more because I don't wanna break it.
Right.
The clay that we're working in, we know this vein of clay well. We know its properties, and we know what we can get away with. This crew, experienced crew, went down a 9-foot deep dig, went horizontal under a pool, and grabbed some groundwater. We're going to dig out the pit a little more so that we can put in one of our outdoor sump pump systems on a really, really tall riser. This is going to take a guy down in the trench because the biggest machine that we could get in the backyard was our U17 Mini, and we really can't reach to the depth that we want to get this dugout to. So In time, we'll end up putting a man down in that trench, and we'll end up just working as a team to get that to the proper depth. It's tedious work at this point. It really is. And again, I can't emphasize enough, all subsoils are different. We know how this clay behaves. 35 years working this vein of clay in this area. It's not going to do something different now that it hasn't done before. So the men are safe, and we're in a tight, confined area. This was a really difficult job. Getting equipment in and out was tough. All right, so the guys have a riser up to the surface. We're going to fill the entire void with stone. I want to draw water from the subsurface. I want to draw water from 360 degrees of my pump system. I want to beat this water problem. I want to give water a path of least resistance, and that's going to be this deep, full of big round rock, giant well, and we have a pump at the bottom. And as that water collects, we're going to evacuate it. And that's just going to keep repeating until we dry out that subsurface soil. After rain events, this system will remain very active for many, many days. Even though we couldn't show packing the stone in the horizontal shaft because there was no way to get a cameraman down there, there was no way to clearly, safely video this without jeopardizing the safety of the men. So I want to walk you through it. They line the horizontal shaft with our filter fabric, our non-woven geotextile filter fabric that's double punched. They go ahead and pin it. They carefully pack in the stone by lowering it down in 5-gallon pails, and they'll use the excavator a lot of times to put the buckets in and lower them down. They'll 1 5-gallon bucket at a time, pack that horizontal shaft, fill it with stone. Meanwhile, the rest of this trench, this vertical shaft, it gets lined with the non-woven geotextile filter fabric. The guys then take one of our bad seeds. I prefer our bad seed for this type of install. I have my reasons. You can use a Screaming Demon if you're somewhere other than the north, because then you could use a check valve. But here in the north, we build everything without a check valve. It's amateur hour to build something in the north outdoors with a check valve. That's going to freeze up. You're going to end up destroying your pump. It's going to be trying to pump water, and you're going to have ice frozen in the line, and it's just not going to work. The Screaming Demon has a nice sump area, but when you have this tall riser that goes up 9 feet, that's a lot of water that's coming back down into the Screaming Demon sump system. This is one of the very few installs where I'll prefer a bad seed over a Screaming Demon. We used our full frame bad seed, the 40-inch, and then we went ahead and we put a really tall riser on it. All right, so the guys are running the discharge line. They got some really good footage. I was really happy to get this. I was just describing to you how a really tall riser and then a long run with a discharge line. When the pump turns off, in the north we can't have a check valve because the water would be held in that line. It would freeze up. So whatever's left in that line's got to come back into our sump system. Well, we got a big chambered system down there. So it's going to displace all that water and not turn the pump back on and short cycle it. The pump turned off and all the water is draining back out of the line, and it's not even near the trigger point as far as the pump turning back on. That's the whole point of our chambered systems. There's many, many, many reasons why we love using a chambered outdoor sump pump system. And for whatever reason, the guys that use the indoor systems just aren't getting it. We're going to show you guys how to prep this for brick pavers and or concrete. So the guys are going to level this out. They're going to keep it low intentionally. You have to keep it low for some sort of base material to work and level on top of the fabric. So in this case, we're going to have our non-woven geotextile double punch fabric over top of our 1.5-inch round rock. The guys are then going to take sand and they're going to level this out. You do the same thing if you're going to pour concrete over this. If I was going to pour concrete over this, I'd probably do one more thing. I would probably put Visqueen over the sand when I had to pour the concrete. If there was a lot of moisture in the concrete, or if you ended up with a slurry that was just a little bit too wet, it wouldn't end up compromising the fabric, the drainage fabric that's underneath the concrete. That's going to be the success to this concrete lasting forever that would be poured over a system like this. The fact that any moisture or water that got in that vein of sand under the concrete would just get wicked away by this system. As long as that drainage fabric can work properly, it won't have a problem taking in the water and just letting that water drop right down to our pump system. Now, has this crew not earned a thumbs up? This was just executed perfectly by a team of veterans that has performed this type of job hundreds and hundreds of times. We just went ahead and took you guys along for the ride and showed you what some of the drainage guys out there are capable of doing. Honestly, with this crew, I see no limits. Whatever people have for a water problem and whatever it is they ask of us, we've never been able to not solve that water issue. So can't say enough good about this crew. They're a veteran crew, and I can't say enough about how well they handle anything that's suburban, urban, residential water. They do such an amazing job. Again, smash that like button. Show them your appreciation. I hope you guys enjoyed coming along for the ride. I hope you enjoyed getting all the details to this system. Man, they put this yard back together beautifully. Just truly amazing. All right, everybody. Until that next video.